All right. Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton. Hey, I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Lions Talk Live. And as you can probably tell from the thumbnail from this one, I picked a good day to get my voice back. Detroit Lions, rumored per Adam Scheffler, they have found their new offensive coordinator. If you don't know the guy, you're probably not alone. We're going to break it on down. This is coming from our friends over at ESPN NFL Network. You know, the Lions have hired Drew Petzing, will come on over to the Detroit Lions as their new OC. This has not been confirmed. Lions are getting this information, or I'm getting this information, I should say, from the Detroit Lions source, also from Adam Scheffler per ESPN, and a number of you guys, and Curtis, I'm going to give credit to where credit's due, Curtis Lee, and a bunch of you guys. Adam Scheffler, sources, Detroit Lions are finalizing a deal to hire former Cardinals offensive coordinator Drew Petzing as their new offensive coordinator. There have been a lot of rumors and speculations about who the Detroit Lions will get. Mike McDaniels had been looking like the leading man, especially in the last 24 hours, where we saw more and more information that McDaniel was turning down offers to be a head coach or an OC somewhere else. You saw the Philadelphia Eagles and a gluttony of other teams kind of back out of the sweepstakes to get him. Adam Scheffler, though, is reporting, and while I haven't been able to confirm it anywhere else, Detroit Lions are going to hire this guy who is the former offensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals. If you don't know much about him, let's try to bring you up to speed with it, because he has been around the NFL for a bit of time. Let's break down his history and then get into the details. He was born in 87. His career history, as far as where he's been, he was a volunteer assistant coach for Harvard University in 2009. Boston College, 2010 through 11 as a graduate assistant. Been there, done that, man. Yale, 2012 as an outside linebackers coach. Cleveland Browns, first NFL experience, 2013 football operations intern. Minnesota Vikings, 2014 through 15 as an offensive assistant. Minnesota Vikings then went out and got him in 2016-17 as an assistant wide receiver coach. Minnesota Vikings then elevated him to assistant quarterbacks coach in 2018. Minnesota Vikings then promoted him to, in 2019, the wide receivers coach. Cleveland Browns 20 through 21 tight ends coach. Cleveland Browns 2022 as quarterbacks coach. Arizona Cardinals, where we're getting them from, 2023 through 25 is the offensive coordinator. And now, already updated online, I am getting more confirmation. Detroit Lions, 2026 through present, offensive coordinator. We'll see if Hutch Jr. can join us. He was going to break it down with me. I had to get him over the information. But if he can't join us, we'll just go through it. This is going to be a bit of a change for the Detroit Lions if they can get him, because I think we're all going to agree, if you watch the Arizona Cardinals, they were a little bit similar to the Detroit Lions. I did not have a lot of time to prep this. I wanted to get to you guys as fast as possible, but watching the Lions and other teams play the Cardinals this year, or I should say, watching teams play the Cardinals this year and watching them just when the Lions weren't on air, what you could see is probably more of an MCDC type of offense. 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, 1 running back, and they do a multitude of things to try to own the line of scrimmage. If you're a Detroit Lions fan, you probably understand Dan Campbell wants to pound the ball. He wants to control games. He wants to get back to having a physical presence. As soon as he got here, that was his mantra. And while it did kind of let up a little bit this year, someone say because the offensive line for the Detroit Lions, it does seem like Drew Petzing will kind of further that. Lions fans had a lot of hopes for John Morton. I think we all agree that did not pan out for whatever reason this year. Dan Campbell, there were a lot of Lions fans that said, hey, we don't want him to remain as the OC or as the play caller. We want somebody to actually handle that. Well, you're going to go ahead and get just that. You got a guy who's coming into this job who has some prior OC experience. That's the one thing I enjoy about this hire. I think I would have liked Mike McDaniel better, but maybe you just weren't able to finalize a deal for him. Many people are going to say you haven't heard of him. I don't know him. Probably some of you are going to say this is another Morton hire. The only thing I can say for sure is this. With a backup quarterback last year, I don't think the Cardinals were that bad offensively. Not consistent, but not bad. I do believe with the Detroit Lions, you have a lot more weapons. I do think they're going to invest this offseason either through free agency or the draft. to increase that offensive line. My personal hope is that they add to the offensive line through free agency, spend the entire draft on the defense. When breaking down Drew Petzing, here's what we can also say. The guy does have a pretty good offensive mind. I'm not going to say he's Mike McDaniel. I can't confirm that because I don't know enough about the guy. But what we do know is this. Dan Campbell is going to throw himself in front of the Wolves a little bit this year with this hire because the Lions fan base, I think most NFL fans would say, Lions got a ton of offensive weapons. We would all love to have somebody that is a proven 100% hire that we know is going to be able to use those weapons to the best of their availability. With Drew Petzing, we don't know that. We've seen 2 years of evidence in Arizona what he is, but you're going to have to draw your own conclusions if you think that's a great hire or not. And again, I want to give credit where credit's due. A number of you guys got this over to me right at the same time. I saw Adam Schefter's pop-up hitting me about the Lions making this hire. We'll have to wait for it to be fully confirmed, but I'm going to guess if ESPN, Adam Schefter, amongst others, are reporting it, then you know what? It's probably a legitimate hire, and I think we're probably going to, whether you like the hire or not, going to have to come to realization the Lions do got their guy. NFL.com is now also reporting it. So let me go ahead. Let me pull it up on the screen. If you give me a second here, share screen. All right, there we go. And bada bing. So, yeah, I would say it's a done deal at this point. Lions hiring former Cardinals offensive coordinator Drew Petzing as their OC. So if you guys want to do some of your own research on it, the only thing I can say to you guys is, like I've been saying this entire time, I like the fact he is already have been an offensive coordinator. I like the fact that the guy has some of what MCDC wants. We can all have our own thoughts about MCDC as a play caller or as the head coach. What we can also probably say is when you get people of similar mindsets coming together, it's probably best for everybody involved. If you have an offense coordinator that thinks vastly different than the head coach, you're probably not going to get great results. So just take it for what it's worth. I like what they did with the talent they had. And again, it's not like I watched 20 of their games to get ready for this. I'm just going off what I saw this year against Green Bay and other teams that they faced. I thought they had some good stuff. We'll have to wait and see if that all pans out. What we do know is this. Lions, once again, were one of the best offenses in the year with or without John Morton, with or without Dan Campbell calling the plays. You fix that offensive line. Does Drew Petzing now take this offense to a whole new level? If there's anybody in the Drew Crew comments section that knows more about this guy than I do, go ahead and throw it in there. Here we got one right here. 49er Arizona, we got living in Arizona. He's not horrible, hoping with better personnel on the field, he'll have some success. Cardinals players just couldn't execute most of the time. I would agree with you. And again, I only watched a couple of their games this year, but I did like a lot of the setups, the formations that they did there. Pierce, this puts the target on MCDC. Now, you're right. You're 100% right. And any of you guys that follow me on like Facebook or Instagram or anything like that, there was a thing that came out earlier today with the Buffalo Bills firing their coach. Let this sink in. The longest tenured coach in that division is the New England Patriots coach. He's been there just over a year. So in the world of coaching, you are hired to be fired. And I know I've shared that phrase with you guys a bunch of times before. So I will just say this. MCDC, I think he's putting his career a little bit on the line with this hire. If he ends up being another John Morton, and I'm not saying he will be, this will be a train wreck for MCDC and probably will ultimately lead to his dismissal. Although I do want to be fair, I don't know enough about the guy to know if he's good or bad or whatever. The only thing I can say is MCDC saw something in him, didn't want to roll the dice on somebody else, took it. I'm going to hope that he got it right here. Nick, the fact we didn't even know this guy interviewed says a lot. They kept it pretty under wraps, didn't they? Kill Faceboy. Drew over McDaniel, question mark. Is this Brad trying to be the smartest guy in the room again? Question mark, not thrilled. I would say this, and I can't speak for Dan Campbell or the Detroit Lions. I can only speak for my own coaching background. If Brad Holmes has any kind of say over the coaches Dan Campbell hires, Dan Campbell needs to leave ASAP. You don't want people working for you that you don't believe in. So that's just my thought. Josh, thank you, Cody. Now we'll get back to your hole. Okay, let's see. Southwest, Brad Holmes won't spend money. Let's hope that changes this year. Great Lakes, Cody Never, Packers fan, maybe. Joe, Getting better, Hookadoo. It's just been rough after I decided to put my dog on. Sorry to hear about that, Joe. Sorry about that, 100%, man. Thoughts and prayers for you. Okay, Josh. Let's see. Justin, Dan Campbell's done after this season? Let's hope not, man. Martin, what do you got? Don't let the big head fool you. This offensive play calling is basic AF. All right, fair enough. Robert, and I thought the way the season went was a kick in the bejesus. And then Dan Campbell says, hold my beer. Okay. Let's see. Is this another good friend? I couldn't speak on that one way or the other. I just don't know. Riley, they probably want McDaniel out. McDaniel is going to take a head coaching job somewhere. It could be that. Maybe McDaniel did inform them that he is taking a head coaching job somewhere else. So the Lions said, hey, who's the best option for us? And the only thing I can say, guys, I like the fact he's coached a long time. I like that he's been an OC before. So, I mean, that's just something I look at. Mark, we have Goff. You can't go wrong. All right. Let's see. Scott Blade. Hope he does something to impress us. Ben Johnson was relatively unknown, too. Very true. Personnel to fit your scheme will be important. Killface, how is a guy who hasn't done anything picked over McDaniel? The only thing, again, and Killface, to your point, the only thing I can think of is that maybe McDaniel told him that I'm probably looking at taking this job somewhere else. Now, we go another week or two and don't hear McDaniel hired somewhere. Questions will be asked. Miss Emily, worst year to need an OC, so many head coaching gigs available, etc. Could be a factor. Joe, well, the coaches paid don't have anything to do with cap, though. Correct. Yeah, there is no coaching pay cap. Curtis, give him a chance. We're going to have to do just that. For the hits, what do you got? Have faith in the staff? Question mark, never. Exclamation point. Fire the whole operation. We'll say it's a bold strategy, Cotton. Justin, would have rather had Orlowski. Maybe. Killface, if this doesn't work, it's their butts. I would agree. I think Brad and Dan both are under the gun this year. It's one thing to turn the franchise around. I get it. But at some point, if you're Sheila Ford Hamp, I always want to say Hamp Ford, if you're Sheila and you're paying over $1 billion currently, and that's going to go up as they sign more people to contracts, you want a return on your investment, an ROI. So we'll see. Kerry, another losing season? I don't think so. We had a winning season, though, this year. Just keep that in mind. Hoogdoo, Joe C., sorry about your pup. Agreed with that. Pierce, Hoogdoo, was this a DDI pick? Maybe. Let's see. Leonidas, what do you got? This season is going to have a lot of repercussions with every decision if they don't work out. You're right. I mean, it's part of coaching. If you hire in people that haven't been there before, you have to be willing to go through their growth curve. If you haven't been a coach before and you don't know just how things work behind the doors, dealing with this, that, the other thing, now you're asking somebody else to try to help you through that. And what you don't know will get you beat. Johnny, cheap, I'll go with that. Lions fan, is this going to be a mistake? He was off in Arizona. Look at the style right now. All right. Let's see. How's it? Moneybag Boys, looks like at least he takes accountability. I see him saying, that was my fault a lot last season. Sounds like Dan Campbell. Let's see, what do you got? The Lions podcast are about to use this as more fuel to try to get us back to square one. Maybe. I don't know where the Lions will go with this, man. The only thing I can say is you got a bunch of tools. Now do you have the talent to make those tools work? We will see. Detroit D, who is this dude? This is the question of the day right now. Because to be honest, I did not know Drew Petzing before this hire. And no disrespect to any coach, no disrespect to the Arizona Cardinals. I just didn't know them enough to really have an opinion. Okay, we got last place winning season. Well, we did get last place, but we did finish with a winning record, and we're the only team in the division to sweep the Chicago Bears. So there is that. Let's see, Lions fan, why didn't we try to get it done with Mike McDaniels? I don't know. The only thing I can speculate, Lions fan, is that perhaps McDaniel said he was leaning towards taking a job somewhere, a head coaching job. Great Lakes, at least we don't have to watch McDaniel in his Caprice, his hipster glasses all year. You know what? I kind of was digging the glasses. That's just me, though. Let's see. In 2026, a failure, everyone gets fired. I do believe that. I think that's a strong possibility. Like if Dan O'Damas was here and had to give a grade on what's the potential, if the Lions struggle mightily next year, everybody gets fired, I would say about 8 to 9% on a scale to 10. So 80 to 90%. This will be a make or break season, in my opinion. And I love Wayne Fontes to death. I wish they would have let him, coach the Lions until the day he got died, I guess. But part of coaching, the reality is, if somebody's going to invest a bunch of money in you, the draft picks, paying the players, you better put something on the table. Otherwise, you're probably being shown the door. Rob, who the heck is that clown? Now you know, and no one's half the battle. Johnny, cheap as Sheila, just like her. Heard, all right? Who do? Pierce is this huge DDI case? Let's hope not. Michael, Wednesday to call the defense, and we are set. Maybe they'll get that. Justin, 2026 is going to be disappointing, under 500, and fourth place in the North again. I'm going to say this. Daniel Damas has just called me and said the Lions going to finish with 12 wins next year. Write it down. Let's see if I'm right. Daniel Damas is right, that is. ST makers, what do you got? You have to remember that the Lions have way better players to work with than the Cardinals. That's also a factor. Who you're working with on the court or in the field does make a difference. If you're a good coach and you got good players, you're probably going to win a lot. If you're a good coach and you have bad players, you're probably losing a lot. Let's see, Mark. Wonder why they didn't sign Clay from the New York Giants. I don't know. Maybe he didn't interview well. Pierce, this tells me MCDC doesn't want to give up play calling. Maybe that is a factor. Ooh, that could be breaking news. Great Lakes, any higher won't matter if Goff doesn't have more than 1.5 seconds to throw the ball. I would agree with that 1,000%. If you're going to give any NFL quarterback 1.5, 1.7 seconds to throw on average, that quarterback's probably grass. But at 95, I knew they were going to hire the most bad choice. Okay. Lions fan, what happened to the guy from the Giants? That's a question I can't answer right now. I don't know what happened. Sorry I had to wear a hat, guys, but I was out shoveling snow. Joe, me too, Hookadoo. It's just been hard to get out and about, seeing the places we would go together. Was truly my best friend. Thanks for the news, Coach Dan. Anytime, Joe. Hopefully you're getting a little bit better and better with each passing day. Pierce, if MCDC went with a friend, it would have been Dable. Probably true. Cody, McDaniel likes to run a ton of screens. After I heard that, my hype for him faded. Ooh, maybe that was a contributing factor. Cody, they ain't ready to hear that. Fair enough. Kerry, shake my head. All right. Boneless schemes. What do you got? If they finalize the deal with Drew yet, is it legit? So now NFL Network is reporting it as well as ESPN and Adam Scheffler. So, I mean, I guess anything's possible. I would say if NFL.com is also hiring, or listing it as a hire, I have to believe it's probably fairly legit. And just to confirm it for you even more, there is the current headline on NFL.com. So there you go. And, they say knowing is half the battle. 49ers, what do you got? There is a plus side next season. The Lions will have a last place schedule. This is true. 1 or 2 wins this year puts you at, 2 wins puts you at 11. You're probably controlling the North at that point, and you would have been in first place. Johnny, Sheila is cheap like her mom and dad. You go from Mike McDaniel to stuffed team, Arizona OC. What the heck are they doing? I hope they fire Dumb and Dumb. We'll find out if they do. Let's see. Haven't been here in a while, but am I the one who gets tired of this trash? What is this offense coordinator signing? I'll be the same thing that happened to Morton. It could be. And just to be fair, I don't hate the guy because I don't know anything about him. I don't know if he's good. I don't know if he's bad. I'll probably watch some film on him, today and say, hey, come to my own determination. But the only thing I'd say is for everybody, before you throw the axe at the guy's neck or before you praise him and say he's the second coming of whoever, go ahead and spend some time watching his play calling, watch some formations, watch the structure. Be a coach, do some scouting, come to your own determinations. Byron, what happened, Dan? Now you know. No one's half the battle. Lions have a new OC. Money bass bag boy. Let's rock and roll with it. Exclamation point. What else are we going to do? Go Lions. Woo! I like the way you're thinking. Shaw, what do you got? No interest in Joe Brady? Question mark. Weren't he and Campbell roommates? That, I guess they just didn't feel like there was enough there. That's the only thing I can speculate. Dr. Detroit is laughing. Reversion to the mean. Just found a piece of paper in the Lions headquarters parking lot with a pets no matter what written on it. Maybe. Frank is a Lions. Okay. Chrome, please hire Shep Miami. Yeah, man, some people want Shep out of here. Psycho Billy, this stinks. So many good options. There were a lot of good options there. Maybe they just didn't feel like they could get them. Maybe those options told them, we're not coming to you. I'm speculating. Jen, I am late to the party. I will have to watch from the beginning. Hey, jump on in. Real TJS, what do you got? Cheap people. It's hard to know if Dan and Brad are even serious now. Fair enough. So this 100% true? It is. It's confirmed at this point. Again, if NFL.com has it, I have to guess that's accurate. Derek, he was Ben Johnson's roommate in college. Hey, how about that? Full Slate Farms. Somebody I haven't seen in a minute. Horrible news. All right. Dr. Troy, this is 100% BS. The only thing I can say, guys, you might not like the news, but it is what it is. Adam Schefter's reported. NFL.com now has it. So Lions are apparently going with him as your OC. Money Boss Bag Boy, thanks for breaking news, Coach Dan. Exclamation point, nice hat. I need one. Hey, how about that? Thanks for the kind words. Day, what do you got? My son, a Cardinals fan who also loves the Lions, is super upset about this. He really hates this guy. Fair enough. And yeah, maybe that's something we'll all feel in time. I just don't know. Let's see, Rob, did this Axe get fired or just leave for a better team? That I would have to do some research on. Just 8 wins next season. Let's hope it's 8 in the first 5 games. Wouldn't that be something? Paperback fan, good to see you, my friend. Woo! How about that? Avery, Cardinals fan here. This guy isn't good. Big Daz, what do you got? The guy coached a running quarterback. No, we don't have one. Now what? Well, let's hope he doesn't require it. All right, guys, I'll go ahead and get out of here. I gave you the lowdown. If you would be so kind before departing, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. Be a good human being. And if there's other breaking news, I'll get it to you as soon as possible on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, all.